Today we're going to take a look at the Vomero 17 with a big 39.5 heel, 30.5 forefoot of ZoomX underfoot and Cushlon below. It has a nice engineered mesh upper, very secure, more performance oriented than previously, and a stout outsole that'll probably give you a bit of trail duty as well. It's really a fine update to this big stack, higher drop cushion trainer from Nike. Hello everybody, Sam from Road Trail Run. Today we're going to take a look at the Nike Vomero 17. It's Nike's premium neutral trainer, and it sees some very significant changes from the 16. I'll say the 14 was even more different. That was my shoe of the year when it came out. But here with the 17, Nike changes up the upper and the midsole pretty significantly. So whereas before in the 16, and here's a picture of the 16, we had a core of ZoomX with a foam a carrier around it. Not sure what that foam was, but now we have a dual layer of ZoomX, as in our Vaporfly, Alphafly, and Cushlon 3. So we have a kind of a layered approach. Also very significantly, Nike eliminates the front air pod that was generally right in here, and which gave Vomero's kind of a firmer pop off the front. I think with ZoomX in the mix, that's a good call to get rid of it. And it also will tend to make the shoe more flexible, I think. As you can see here. And I am thinking the weight here, based on my US 8.5, is going to be just under 10 ounces or 281 grams, whereas before in the 16, we were at 10.3 ounces. So we lose a little bit of weight, and I think the stack height goes up because Nike's listing this at 39.5 at the heel and 30.5 at the forefoot. So an 8.5 millimeter drop versus 10 before. Before, I think, and I see from running warehouse, and I had 33 millimeters at the heel, 23 millimeter forefoot. So I think we're gaining some stack height and we're losing some weight. So the upper is also significantly changed. And here's what the upper looked like before. That saddle thing, all the over plushness. Now we have a very nice engineered mesh. It's not rigid like the Invincible Run 3 or overly stretchy like the RN4, Infinity RN4, which, by the way, weighs more than an ounce more at the same stack height with its React X foam. So this is a superior foam package at a lighter weight. Whereas before we had that saddle approach. So you can see we have a fairly densely padded, relatively thin tongue, no puffy thing here. There's a little strip down the center to kind of pad you from the laces. Not sure it's really needed, but it's sort of a mesh. It's a mesh inside and out, and fairly densely padded but thin. And there you can see the gusset, and just behind it is the strapping. Be hard to see, a gusset tongue, but also a strap that extends from here. You can see it's stitched down around the foot, so the hold is really secure. We no longer have that super plush, goofy kind of lifestyle approach to the collars. And I can tell you the fit here is really, really, really solid, comfortable, a bit massively over heel countered, I think. Underfoot, a more kind of waffle approach to the outsole, more decoupling. I have one run in them, and I'm going to take them out and give you my impressions from the run today. But this is a traditional, more flexing shoe with a snappy flex point. Whereas if you look at your Invincible Run 3, same stack height, that's a shoe that's more rocker based. So this is a traditional higher drop flex shoe. So if you wanted to compare it, and I'll compare in more detail, it competes with Magnify Nitro 2 from Puma, the Triumph from Saucony, the Cumulus 25 from ASICS, for example. So my first run was really pleasing. This is a lot of cushion. Of course, you've got that great impulse of the Zoom X, and you can see it's the usual firmness of Zoom X, and our Cushlon is just a little bit firmer, but it's a really nice combination. So I'm going to take them out for a run, give you some more impressions here in beautiful Park City. But here we go. Nike is now, I think, really back in the game with a premium daily trainer that doesn't have any goofy lifestyle kind of approach to it. Isn't over soft. This is a shoe for big miles. It's easy to roll. Let's get into from the run impressions. It's $160 and it should be releasing very soon. So Bob and I are running up the hill at the Poland Farm. Very nice. Okay, let's talk about the fit of our Vomero 17. I'm at my usual 8.5 and I have a medium to narrower foot, and the fit is perfect, true to size. We've got plenty of toe box, toe length. You can see we don't have too much of a toe bumper. This mesh is quite dense, holds you very well. Overall, this is a more performance-oriented kind of upper, but with a bit relaxed fit. It is quite unlike, for example, Nike's Infinity RN4 with a stretch knit, which for me and our other testers kind of super comfort-oriented, but barely held, really. This is much more secure. The midfoot has not only the gusset inside, but also the strap that connects here. So your midfoot is super well held. The tongue has plenty of padding. Lacing is easy. Let's move a bit to the heel counter now. I think it's a bit overdone. It reminds me of some of the older Asics with sort of the clutch. It really holds you well, but with the midfoot hold and the overall mesh we have here, I think it's overdone. It also, I think, adds a bit of back weighting. Not a big criticism, because it does make the shoe, even though it's a neutral, quite very stable, I think, at the rear. So as I was running today, things like downhills, very stable, but it is a bit kind of overdone. Reminds me those older Asics. It certainly doesn't remind me of sort of the more minimal, and for many of us, slipping hold of the Invincible Run 3. This is a much more conventional, very secure hold. Overall, I think this is a true no compromises running shoe upper for a premium kind of neutral trainer. Nike has done a really good job with this upper. No goofy over padding things, no slipping heel, very well held, comfortable, not super broad, but moderately so. So narrower to medium and a bit beyond feet should do fine. This is not a stretch knit. So now let's talk a bit more about the ride after 2 6-mile runs, fairly hilly here in Park City. Okay, 2 runs in, both about 6 miles, both with a decent amount of climbing here because we're at Park City in altitude in our Vomero 17, as you saw in the little video before. So we are definitely a traditional riding shoe, but with a healthy dose of super foam with our Zoom X here under the foot, and the Cushlon, which isn't a super foam below. So what you have is a very plush, premium kind of daily trainer ride that has no kind of sharp edges, but does have a bit of kick. I think the outsole really helps here. It's a firmer rubber, and it is a flexible shoe, unlike, say, the Invincible Run 3, as it does have some flex. You can see there's our flex. So we have that 8.5 millimeter drop flex. This is not a rocker-based shoe. As I said before, in the upper, you've got a performance-oriented fit here and hold, but one that isn't like overwhelmingly snug. It's not as snug, for example, for me, as, say, the Pegasus. Pegasus being, if you will, the step down or the step up in sort of Nike's performance kind of more traditional trainer. And as I said, no air unit at the front, which I think it was time to get rid of it. So this is a shoe you can put a lot of miles on. All those daily miles, except maybe those faster workout ones where you might move over to your Vaporfly, or if you really like the kind of firmer, stiffer React ride, to your Pegasus. It stands in a class that has a lot of competition. The Invincible Run, of course, which is more rocker based, exactly the same stack height, and the Invincible weighs just a teeny touch more. Others in the class would include Nike's Infinity RN4, much softer, kind of ponderous, same price, same stack height. This is a much better option unless you really want that stretch knit upper and have a broad foot, but as far as performance, this is a much better shoe. Saucony Triumph, clear competitor, very close to the same weight, same general statistics. I think the Saucony is a little bouncier, a little more lively, but very, very close. So it really comes down to maybe trying them on both and seeing more about the fit. Although I will say our Vomero has a more kind of all-terrain outsole here, so you can do some light trails. I'm not sure I'd do that in the Triumph. Another one very close, very close. Puma's Magnify Nitro 2. A little kind of livelier all-of-a-piece foam because it has all nitro foam. Also with a great kind of multi-purpose outsole. Similar fit. Again, it comes down to your sort of your preferences. I might lean just a little bit closer to the Magnify Nitro 2 because of the consistency of the nitro foam, and also the heel counter is not quite as kind of overdone as here, but very, again, a question of preferences. New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V13, softer, not as springy. It does have fuel cell foam, but it's not super critical. This one's a bit livelier, a bit quicker moving, and a teeny touch firmer. And if we want to go traditional, but kind of more kind of firmer, the Saucony's Ride 16 is lighter, quite a bit lighter. Fairly similar stack height, maybe not quite as much plush cushioning, but maybe a touch kind of quicker shoe. And let's see, what else might we talk about? Oh, Asics Gel Cumulus 25. Again, a very similar shoe. I'm going to lean here towards the Nike in that matchup, just because even the Flight Foam Blast Plus foam is great in the Asics. There's just a bit more spring and liveliness here to our Nike Zoom X in the mix here. So we're also going to have a full multi-tester written review over at Road Trail Run of our Nike Vomero 17, $160. It should be out real soon. Nike has done a great job here, finally kind of bringing the Vomero back to the plush, premium kind of daily trainer that it kind of used to be after the more aggressive, although I liked it a lot, Vomero 14, and then sort of the lifestyle-y 16, which was okay. But this one plays really well in that class of shoes where you want a daily trainer that can do most everything with a lot of cushion, barely 10 ounces, huge stack, 39 at the heel, 30.5 at the forefoot, or maybe it's 39 and a half at the heel, 30, but basically a big stack at a very reasonably lightweight, especially given all this rubber, which should make it a really durable option. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great run.